All right, and I'll give a quick intro. This is Jasa. Jasa is the lead for an alpha group. An alpha group means they spend some dedicated time to do some dedicated research on specific things that you can do within the crypto space, learning as much as they can so that they can compile all of that information for you and you don't have to um, do all this tons and tons of research like the stuff that Luke J showed us or the stuff that Crypto Ralphie showed us. They spend the time doing that and then they present that information to whatever community they're a part of. So, Jasa, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
So, hey guys, how are you? I hope everybody's having a good day today. So, I'm Jasa. I'm a 15-year-old in the space. I'm working for multiple alpha groups. I'm also working at BMC Alpha Team. That's kind of like my specialty. I do work as more of the collab management side for alpha teams, but I am still a part and I still learn everything. So what is an alpha team essentially? He really just went over kind of like the basic thoughts of it. And to go more into depth, it's basically like I can share my screen once as well. I have some examples here of the groups I'm in currently. So, for example, there's this one called Aqua Headquarters, another place I work for. And so what they have is they have a holders section, which is their alpha chat. And in their alpha chat, basically it's just kind of your regular people talking and all. But at the same time, what we have is we have HQ Alpha. So we have alpha announcements. So whenever we're doing just little calls here and there, when we just hop into a VC, talk with people in the community, like I previously did this in BMC, but I've kind of been filled up in a couple places. So this is essentially a quick look at what alpha groups are. So there are a couple people here who do callouts. So for example, right here, he called this out today. Hopped on with Chris into Shensi Galverse at a point 0.3 average. And as you can see, 2x in the same day. And this is essentially what alpha groups are, where there are certain people of the team which are doing callouts and they're just talking about other things and they're always in the space, they're always on top of their stuff. They obviously are much more well connected than the average person. So they actually are, they get like a little bit of insider, and they sometimes even spend many hours doing their research to put something here. And they always like to add is a risk as well when it's not a super good project that they believe in, they think could do good. So for example, if you look here, um, so I think it was Barzin. So right here, he goes, so a degen risk 10 out of 10. So he's saying that this is a very risky play, and it's a 10 out of 10 in risk. And if it was to go bad, like they always tell you in beforehand that everything is not financial advice and only go for something if you truly believe in it. So that is something like this is the main part of alpha groups. Like for example, this was a free mint and he minted a lot of them actually. So he minted about 20 of them and he sold 3 of them for 0.12 ETH and he minted them for free. So he still had 17 more. And right here is his update where it actually now went up to a zero point 0.1 floor where he sold and offloaded a couple more. And as you can see, they actively do calls like this. And he is more of like the free mint guy, like the low risk, he's more of like the high risk guy, dropping here and there. And then we have one of our new members over there is Miz. But MG Alpha, this guy has done some of the best callouts recently. Uh, for example, he called the Art of Seasons out at 0.11 ETH, and now they're currently sitting at, I think, around zero point 0.7, if I'm not wrong. And so this right here is just one section of what alpha groups are, where you can see people are doing active calls and everything like that. Like right here, um, he called out point 0.3 on the pre-mint passes, and they're now I think sitting at 1.45 ETH. Whoever bought it caught a huge W, right? And then there's some also when people do make alpha groups, they like making long-term partnerships with other alpha groups or other good projects. And honestly, I think nothing is better than Llamaverse itself. It's a huge project. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have heard about it, but if not, I can also show you what it is. Um, so Llamaverse right here, huge project. It's ran by, if you're also not familiar, NFT Llama. I can also just show you who that is. But like you can see here, this project is has been minted for a while now, and you can still see that they're able to continue gaining interactions and continuing to get good community engagement with everybody, which is actually helping them as a project and their floor price right now. I can just show you quickly what their floor price is as well. So they are a collection of only 4,000, and they also have their own staking mechanism. So that's why it only shows 154 owners. Reason being, there's 93% of them staked. Sorry about that. I don't know what's up with my dog, but so like you can see here, 4.5 ETH, four prices, something that many projects honestly just dream of, if I'm being honest. And like you can see, they're still getting active sales and everything like that. And so this just shows like one of the green flags of projects that already mint out and you're looking to get into their community, which would be seeing if their Twitter, which is a very big part actually, is um, always being active, and their Discord as well, which people may overlook this a little bit, but the thing is, no matter what, community is the biggest thing when it comes to the Web3 space. And honestly,
Did we lose you there? I think your mic might have cut out for a sec.
calls or anything like that, really look into them and make sure you always read. So, like you can see here, they're always reading through everything, and but they always say, like it says right here at the end, do your own research. They never want to influence you, but they always just like giving you a little heads up of what is going on in the market and everything like that. So, yeah. And then another thing that alpha groups do is insights. So, market insights. So, here you can see he goes over it like around once a week to twice a week, once every 2 weeks. He just looks at them a little bit and sees what they are doing and um, how the market is right now, and not just NFT project, but the NFT market and the crypto market. And then you have MGL. So the same guy that you saw at the top over there, MGL NFT, he also does a little bit over here. And he just puts in some stuff that he thinks is a way that he invests right now and what he looks in a project. So you can see here, you look for the long-term holders, which is the simplest form of investing. You pick a project you believe in, whether it be you think the founders are amazing or they have an amazing roadmap, and you hold it long term. So this is obviously, there's ups and downs in in being a long term holder. There's only ups, I would say personally, being an early bird. Reason being, because you in alpha groups, we tend to find projects early and we let the whole community know. And once those projects are found, everybody in the alpha group goes in there checks it out. If they like it, they stay. If they don't like it, they leave, right? And that's just something everybody does. Like for example, I don't know if I'm gonna see it here now, but there was like this one group that was doing a free mint actually. I can show you guys later once I find it. But what they were doing was they were trying to do a little scavenger hunt on their Twitter, and there was a little doc to fill out for their whitelist. And as soon as one person found it, he sends it to an alpha group. That alpha group spreads it to other alpha groups. So alpha groups right now, I would say, is a very big hub in the space for new people and for also people that have been in the space for a while. Reason behind that being like is you get so much inside, like for example whitelist giveaways, which is another very big thing, and all this insight and everything like that is what actually helps projects do good that are alpha groups. Where some alpha groups, this is where you obviously got to look at the community, what they are providing, and everything like that. Like, so if it is a alpha group that is still being minted, you always want to first just take a look at how their Discord is and what they are providing before really fully minting out. And this is something that AquaPass or Aqua HQ was actually doing a lot. And we are doing the same thing over here at Degen Pass. But I would say I would just showing Aqua because it's just very well written out and very well categorized, which is the reason why I would rather show this right now because Degen Pass is a little bit different and it has a lot different mechanisms. That's why you always got to look at what alpha group you truly feel like you are a community of and you also enjoy being in. So, like you can see here, he's taking some losses today. Reason being, our goals should be keep on liquidating, preferably to where we think we will be most profitable in the next 24 hours, like talked about above. Sometimes cutting losses is fine, right? It happens, you make a wrong play, but it's okay. You take it, you take the loss, you move on to the next, right? And this is something to look at as well. So, like you can see here, partnerships, journey ahead, public chat, Chinese chat, alpha chat, success, mint success, and all that. And this is just one alpha group, I would say. There are many more out there. And you should always look into the alpha group, look into their community before really going into one. And one thing I have seen when there's a good alpha group, they tend to be able to rise their floor very well as well. So right here you can see Aqua Tools, because Aqua Tools is actually not just a main alpha group, that is Aqua headquarters. Aqua Tools on the other side is a tool. So it does like minting bots for you, OpenSea bots, bidding bots. Whenever there's an active listing, you can actually be on their website and buy it if you're doing like little snipes and you're trying to pick up a cheap one off the floor. That is something this tool is actually for. And like you can see here, this project actually had minted originally for 0.08 ETH, and now it is able to hold a point for ETH floor, which at one point rose up to zero point 0.5 ETH. This shows just how if you provide value, as they were having a problem minting out at first, but they showed the community, they showed the Web3 space how they provided value as an alpha group as well, which is something that people really like these days. And it honestly was just a big green flag for everyone after that point, and they went ahead and bought it, right? And then, so Aqua HQ, that is essentially what an alpha group is. And what I am also a current part of is Aqua headquarters. I am a head collab manager, as you can see on the right side. And it's an amazing thing, but always make sure the money that you put in for an alpha group or a tool, that money should be something you are okay with locking away for the next 5 to 6 or even to up to a year. Reason being is most of these tools and most of these groups actually help you a lot, and you should never lock up your funds somewhere where you never think you would lock it up. For example, NFT Nerds, very, very good tool. I don't know if many of you have heard about it. I can also show it right here. NFT Nerds. So NFT Nerds is basically just another tool which helps you do listings, trades, collections, and it just shows you active graphs of what the sales are looking like, how many NFTs are there till a point 0.2 floor, or how many NFTs are there till a point 0.3 floor. Like you can see here, it's 0.15 for a month and it's zero point 0.5 for 6 months. And that's something that you would be willing to pay, but you always got to make sure that you have enough funds that you can also go out and buy other projects in the space and to never put it into something which then may or may not provide you value. That's why you always got to make sure you look into the project before going all in. And so, yeah, if any of you guys have any questions about alpha groups and a couple tools or anything like that, let me just go back to our server. Just check it out. Okay. All right. So, how do we get into more alpha groups? All right. So, I would say something for a thing for alpha groups is, how do you get into alpha groups? So, on Twitter, Twitter is very, very big thing. Um, you honestly, it just sometimes comes up when people are doing collabs, doing partnerships, and you always just gotta like keep your eye out for projects. And if you are able to keep an eye out for projects and good alpha and good partnerships, I would say, you will eventually find an alpha group which is currently minting or will be minting a little bit down in the future. And for example, not trying to show the project I'm working for or anything, but DGen Pass, for example, we are an alpha group. We provide like whitelist spots, we provide alpha, we also have many long-term partnerships, and we are also coming out with our second collection. So this is DGen Pass. We were an initial 222 supply, which now we will be doing a 2,222 supply on top, which will be our Gen 2 collection, just a little bit like how Gojira did it, for example. So, and we will obviously be bringing extra benefits to being a Genesis holder, which is this one right here. And as you can see, we have very good owner split as well, 222 NFTs split between 219 people. And that just shows, if you really look out in the space and keep on looking around, you will be able to eventually find an NFT project that you will like. And and from there you may find another alpha group, or you always just gotta keep your eyes on Twitter, which is a very important thing. And I will also be going through how to find some green flags and some red flags of projects on Twitter itself. Because one thing I can tell you is um, those bots, biometric Twitter followers, and everything like that, honestly, they do not work at the same level as your own research does and your own time looking at it all. Reason being is we have actually like seen bots sometimes win our giveaways at DGen Pass and at Aqua headquarters. And the thing is, bots are eventually inevitable and it's impossible to stop them in a sense. But that's when you always just gotta look at what is the project average, I would say. average is something very, very, very important, and I can't honestly emphasize it enough. As like, if you don't find the proper average of a group, I honestly don't know how you will figure out if it's a good project or if it's a bad project. So I can show you right here. If I'm being honest, um, I mean, it might be a little bit more down. Right here. So as you can see in this project, so they've said to retweet and like and then tag three monkeys because it's a monkey kingdom. And you can see right here, they managed to get a 21.7K likes, 21.7K retweets, but they only managed to get 10.6K replies. And honestly, if you look at that, that means at least at least being 50% of the people that did this likes and retweets were bots. And you can come to that conclusion honestly very, very easily. And I'm not trying to talk bad on this project. I also work with them. They're very good guys, and I honestly can't wish nothing but the best for them. And they're another alpha group. If you guys want to look into it, they're doing their first collection very soon, and they're coming out with their second one in around May, I would say. And this project, it's something that like their Twitter is sometimes like it gets a little botted. Reason being, they collab with big projects at times. But for example, with this project, Monkey Kingdom, so like you can see here, 147K. Okay, that might make it look like, oh, it's a really, really big project. 10K is honestly a little bit of a red flag for me personally. I am not bullish on large projects anymore. I like to go for the more smaller projects, which are under 5,000 or a max of 7,000 if it's a really, really good project. And unless it's like a top five project, for example, PXN, if they do a 10,000, they won't have any problem doing anything because reason of the prestigious project it is. So as you can see here, it is only being able to do 50 to 60, and on other giveaways, you can see here how they're not really having a very averaged out um giveaways, and they're all over the place, which is a very, very major, I can't emphasize it enough, is a very, very big red flag. Because reason being, um, when projects just do keep on doing rapid whitelist giveaways, they sometimes do that to boost their following on Twitter to make them look a little bit more legit and to make them like look like, oh, this is the next upcoming big project in the space. But in reality, 50 to 90% of those followers that they do have may be botted. And like you can see here, they're sometimes getting 13K on their giveaways, but then at other times they're only getting 2,000 on giveaways. And their normal tweets are only ending up getting 80 to 90. And like, where is this 12,000 coming from? And this is something to very, very keep your eye on, as it is the make or break for projects when they start getting botted. And unless the project is of such caliber, like I can show you guys Mind Blown Universe, this is the type of stuff that you really have to do your research on. Mind Blown Project, it's very, very big right now. Like, they're able to pick up some big collabs, big partnerships, like 1,000, and their normal posts be getting 1,000 is a huge thing. And look at this, like 14.7, 14.3. That shows that, okay, there was a little bit of botting, but at one point or another, there will always be bots. But that's where you just got to be a little bit smarter and make sure you really look into it, into the project itself more than just their Twitter interactions as well. The reason being, those biometrics that everybody checks, they're not always active and they're not always correct. And like you can see here, right? If you go to their team, uh, let's check the team. So their journey. Oh my God, man, my dog. So right here, their creator. This right here, um, I have been in calls with this guy. Very, very good guy. And that's where you just have to kind of look around on how these projects are. And if you really believe in a project, you have to look into it. And yeah, the, just always make sure to do as much research as you can, even if it might take half an hour to 40 minutes on one project alone. You always want to join their Discord, you want to join their Twitter, you want to be a part of their community to really get a feel of their community because it is a very, very overlooked thing, and I can't like say it enough. People overlook the fact that a community is what drives a project. And it's honestly just something I like, it's just huge for me, you know? If I don't see a strong community, I will never go for a project. So let's see, how much time do you dedicate to finding new projects in alpha? Like, say, out of your 5 to 6 hour crypto day. All right, so if I'm being honest, um, finding new projects in alpha, I tend to do more. I look at the more like mainstream projects, I would say, and I have a couple connects here and there who actually do that stuff more for me. Reason being, I personally am up with a lot of other things as well, like doing collabs, which is my main job in this Web3 space. And but what I see in this space is I always just go through my feed here. And in my feed, I follow noticeable people. So with following those noticeable people, it helps me find those good projects. Like, for example, best example out there right now, Llamascape. So Llamascape is ran by those guys at Llamaverse, like the project I was showing you before. And the main founder of both the projects is NFT Llama. And so once again, just following up on your question, I would say personally, if I wasn't getting told by other people on what projects they're looking at and stuff, I would spend about like an hour at least looking into projects. And um, but you will always want to make sure that you want to spend as much time being a part of their community. I like I said, I can't emphasize it enough. You always want to be in their Discord so you are able to see what everybody in the Discord is like, if they have a true strong community, and if they have a strong community, you want to like look at their team, look at their website, everything. 90% of teams right now are doxed. They're all documented and you can search them up and you will find them. But a strong community is not always there. And if you don't find that strong community, you won't find a good project.
I have something quick to add to that to reinforce that idea. It's a little outdated. The article came out last month, but last month, Coinmetrics came out with an article showing data behind people that are in profit and people that are not in profit when they sell their NFTs. And 70% of people that claimed to have spent at least 6 hours or more in the Discord community that they minted in, and they minted, 70% of people reported being in profit. And that number is actually very low because that does not include people that have not sold yet or holding forever. So really, if you're into a project, if you like a project, I would highly recommend at least 6 hours. That's an hour a night for a week kind of situation to really get a good idea of whether or not you want to be a part of that community. And that gives you a good idea as to what their requirements are for getting that whitelist so that you can mint the max if you want, mint the most amount that they allow you to mint, or to say, okay, maybe I shouldn't. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there.
No, 100%. It's the biggest thing. Like, you can see it now in the coin metrics. Those people are like 90% in profit. And those numbers honestly don't lie. And to come back to this question right here, will you sell something at a loss for liquid to put towards a call and make it back? So I would say is that you kind of bought because you saw a little bit of hype around it or something like that, and the project isn't doing anything to attract your eyes anymore, then you will always want to like kind of leave. I have personally taken losses in some projects as well, and on that time I was early in the space and I used to be like, oh, massive project, I want to be a part of it. But when I look back to that now and I saw the type of things they were doing, I saw those major, major red flags, which I did personally, I did not see. And one thing I can say is if you ever see a project sweeping their own floor, don't, don't ever still hold that project. I was a previous holder of More Than Gamers. Um, the project did, I'm not trying to talk bad on the project, but it did not do well. I had bought them for 0.34 and I got my exit at around 0.15. So that was one of my bigger losses in the being in the space. And as nice as their art looks and everything, so what they did was that they had some big names on board on their project and which kind of helped them with hype and everything, but they started losing their community after their mint. After losing community, there was no activity on OpenSea. With no activity, the founders started getting bummed out. So what they started doing was they started sweeping their own floor. And when you see someone sweeping their own floor for their own project, exit immediately. You will um, never want to be a part of it. Here, let me tell you about this. So when when you are sweeping their floor, all right, I can tell you what a sweeping their floor is. So as an example, if I'm a founder of this project, More Than Gamers, and I am seeing how they're like right now you can see that they're getting a decent amount of activity, and I am not happy with how much activity we are getting. So like you can see here, this guy bought one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. He bought seven of them at once. So what I would have, if I was a founder of this and I wanted to make people look like, oh, Lee, this project is doing really, really good now all of a sudden, and try to build hype again, is I will buy some of the NFTs off the floor with my own money, trying to drive up price. That is the main thing that takes down projects. And looking at your question too, Beckabot, sweeping their own floor as in the team buying off the floor, or as in them motivating the community to do so. So what they do is the team actually buys the floor, not the community, the team. So the team comes in, they buy 20 to 30 of them off the floor from OpenSea, and then they be like, oh, look, I had to do this, but now who wants a free NFT? And in reality, they're just doing that, but they don't even end up giving the NFT to anyone. And when you look at when the team is just keep on buying the NFTs, keep on buying the NFTs, it is a red flag. And I can't tell that enough because when a project is buying out their own floor, you you can see that there is no real community activity. It is just the founders trying to drive up their price so they're able to make it on the top 10 or top 5 trending projects on like NFT nerds or something, right? So more people will be like, oh yeah, I want their project now. I want their project. But in reality, they're not really giving any value to the NFT project. And it is a slow rug, meaning um, it is going to a very, very bad floor price and it's not worth being a part of. Yep, so founders having their hands in the whole and price of the project is not a good look. Um, yes, correct, Keith. So they're artificially running up the hype by buying into their own project and running up the activity so then people will be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I want to buy that now. But it's just the founders running up their price and making it look bad in a sense as well. And that was something I at first thought was like, yeah, they're believing in the project heavy. Let's go, right? Let's moon this. But it's a major red thing. It's like look at this one. Let's see if I can find it. But this was probably a genie wallet. But I could probably bet you that one guy that's you can see here, he has bought in the past um day basically, he bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of their NFTs. And then he bought more here, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, I can't 100% tell you that that may be the team, but it looks like the why is this one person keep on buying like 4 to 5 every hour or every half an hour? Like what's what is that about, right? That shows a little bit of an artificial hype and red red flag. You want to if you hold the project, you want to leave immediately. You do not want to be a holder anymore after that. So yeah, let me see if I can find that. Because Matthew, to say about that question right here though, what I have actually started seeing now is the founders themselves, they actually send it to other wallets too now, and they try to make different wallet accounts to be able to make it look like, oh, it's not only just one wallet buying it, but there's multiple wallets. And then when you kind of go down more into depth about what the money is going towards and everything like that on Etherscan, which I probably might not do right now, but anybody can do, is you can see on how they are taking out their money from the actual project and they are just buying up their own floor again and again and again. So right here, they sent out 5 ETH to this wallet, and what did it do? Honestly, I'm not that big of a guy with Etherscan, but everything is provided here, and you can obviously go more into depth about how you can see right here, point 0.7, 7 Ethereum out, 7.2 Ethereum out, and like right here. Yeah, I honestly not the most familiar with how to do it, but this is the type of stuff that happens in this space and is a very, very bad thing that they do, which is artificial hype. Want to stay away from it.
I have something
Uh,
quickly to add. I don't mean to keep interrupting, but
yeah,
in
no
that
worries, bro.
in that same vein, what I have seen now, and I don't want to say who or what or how, but a lot of people watch the wallets of big names in the space. For example, people
Hmm.
that have a Bored Ape, their wallets are watched. People know that these are people deep in the space, and that if you're looking for alpha, that you watch their wallets. If they go mint this one thing, or if they buy the floor of this project, what I've seen now is that founders of different projects will reach out to Bored Apes, and some Bored Apes have started offering this as a service where they will agree to buy up the
Yeah,
floor. They'll get paid for providing this service. They'll buy up the floor, drive hype, and then hold it until the floor rises, dumping on all of those new members that bought in during the hype. So be very wary
agreed.
unless you see new activity from the company themselves. They're coming out with I showed Alethea AI last night. They had come out with a new capability of being able to upgrade your NFT and assets that were being added. It makes sense that the floor would jump based on that news. It doesn't make sense when you just
For
see a
sure.
lot of buys happening from one specific wallet, whether or not it's actually people on the team or people not on the team. It could be somebody that's in the know that you're going to front run, some sort of big news that's coming out, but 90% of the time it's just another marketing tool that projects are using to try to increase their hype. So,
100%. That's something I completely agree with. And our wallet's always public. Um, so wallets being always public is uh Etherscan. Etherscan has everything on it. And when do these sales do happen, like for example, uh like let me just quickly show you here. Like when sales like these happen where it's going to this weird wallet that you may have not seen before, and when you open it, it only shows these NFTs. These are usually like bots buying them up, and it's something called a genie wallet, and it's just something someone uses to when they want to buy multiple NFTs, but they only want to spend one-time gas fee, and they use a genie wallet so they can quickly buy multiple and multiple off the floor of the NFT. So, yeah, just like he says right there, you do not always know, but the address is always public and where the assets are coming from and where it goes. So, that's something like if you do see, like, oh, Bored Ape Cat's buying it, oh, big hype, big hype. And then you may see, like, oh, where did this, like, why is he receiving like 20 Ethereum or something from this one project's main wallet? What is that about? And that's where you have to look at who are the actual whales and who are the actual like people in this space that you actually want to watch. Like for example, I can show you guys here, Wallet Watcher. So I don't know if you guys have heard Ninja Pants. He is a very, very big guy in this space when it comes to buying something and flipping. His wallet, is, he also has his own project, if many of you not have heard, Sneaky Internet Friends, and it's 100% charity and goes to contributing artists. And Sneaky Ninja Pants himself, so Sneaky Ninja Pants, he is a very big guy in this space as well. And that's where it all comes down to if it is like like how like how Sean Penn said, he may be getting paid as well, but that's when you always just gotta make sure you look and can't emphasize enough, look into the project before buying in. I have honestly made, I'm being completely honest with you guys, I have made mistakes like that as well. And I have bought stuff and I've sold it and I've taken losses from projects that got hyped up and ended up dumping laterwards. But every time that happens, I learn a new thing. I try to see how I could have improved myself to do it better next time and be able to just take everything to the next level next time I go out and buy something. Let me. All right, here's the server. Sometimes there's so many servers I can't find it. But yeah, let's see. Anybody got any more questions going on? Exactly. So even if something is um something is right here, like Keith said, if like one thing I have personally learned is if you don't fail, you will never succeed. But in another sense, if you don't fail at all, meaning like you are smart in this space and um, you are able to do more research and do many more things in this space while researching, learning, exploring, and just getting a lot of exposure. It will help you even if you do not lose. You will be able to make money. You may make some losses, but those losses are honestly just losses for you to learn more and do better. So, do you have a list of rug pulls to avoid newly created projects by those founders? Uh, I would say for I'm just gonna quickly address Django Legs Jones. So I do have is an Excel, correct? I use Excel for everything. I de-risk so de-risk amounts and gas fees. So there is an actual uh de-risk NFT. So you guys can always just check it here, de-risk. You don't need to connect your wallet to any of this stuff. Never do that. You always just gotta tell what was the gas fee you paid. Hold on, this is not the one. Uh, Once I find it's on my phone, it's not on my computer. I have it like literally set as a thing on my phone. I will forward it to one of the staff or the mod, and they will post it here for everyone to check out. But 100% use. All right, there it is. Yeah, this is the tool I use, the de-risk tool, which honestly it just helps you. So, like for example, like let me just take anything from here, any recent buys or something. 1 second, guys. Just try to make this as clear to you guys as I can. And do that. We bought it not too long ago for 1.2 ETH. So what you do is you copy your transaction hash, which is something you guys have probably learned from previous things here, and you submit that into this de-risk tool. So to de-risk fully and to with all the fees and everything like that, and to make a 0% profit, a flat zero, would have to be you have to sell it for 1.4446 ETH. While buying it for 1.249 and you had a transaction fee for 0.01 with the 10% royalties and the 2.5% OpenSea royalties. So for example, if you sold it for 1.60, it shows you how much profit you made, and you can obviously just at the time put it into your Excel sheet. And if you took it for a loss and you sold it for 1 ETH, it will also show you how much money you have lost while trading this NFT. So now let's go over here. Uh, so for list of rug pullers, honestly, it's something that I personally don't really have a list for, if I'm being honest. Just something like as goes through with doing your own research, joining the community and everything, you do end up learning what a rug pull is and how to find rug pulls is another thing. Like, for example, all those red flags that I have been talking about before, those are huge, huge things to always keep your eye on, especially with the Twitter and the community. And then another thing I can't emphasize on enough is um, founders being doxxed and the team actually having a good background that if you think that roadmap is performable by this team, that's the only time you may want to blindly buy a project. But I will never, ever suggest blindly buying a project before doing any sort of research. Ever. But yeah, exactly, Keith. List gets really, really long quickly and change. Like, for example, one project I was really looking into, and Matthew knows about this one, Skylines. And their stuff was looking pretty neat, if I'm being honest. But the guy ended up rugging everyone. It his community, which is a very, very big initiative of that community, actually. Um, those guys, they literally exposed the founder, and he was a Neo Tokyo holder as well, which was a very sad thing to see. Seeing a big member of this space, as you can see, like you said, you can't trust big people in this space. There's certain people you want to look at, but you never want to blindly trust and agree to everything they're saying. Never do that. But yeah, like that guy, he literally just hugged everybody. He was going to have no artwork and he had no artwork plan and he was stealing the stuff that he had made and that's what happened. But lots would you say is it true when people say most NFTs are rug pulls? No, I would say. I would disagree with that statement. Reason being that sure like personally from what I have seen is 30 to maybe 30 to 40% of projects are rug pulls. But once you do see a rug pull project, put it away. Don't even think about that project. Just leave it to the side. Don't mention it. Don't think about it or anything. You just want to put it to the side and leave it. And then you always want to go out and do research about other projects. And that's just how it's run, to be honest. Like, rug pulls happen every other day. I've personally been a part of, like, it was my first time trading on Solana, and I honestly blindly bought into the hype of the mint. And I don't know why I was so dumb to what I did, but it happened and I got rug pulled. And I ended up losing my one soul that I had sent over to mint the project, and I lost it because it was a rug pull of a project. And it was horrible to see, but it was something I just learned from there on. And, bro, whoever said this, BD Ill Bill, um, it's okay, man. Like it happens, you know. $100, like it just happens. We can't avoid it. Like we are in this NFT space, and stuff happens, you know. Like projects sometimes they may seem super duper great from the start, but then they just aren't able to perform, and that's it. It's personally speaking, it just happens with projects sometimes. But that's when obviously like you have to look at the floor, look at what the community is like, if there's any like bad things going around about the project. But once again, like you may not know or you may not think you learned anything from that $600 that you lost today, but in reality, you learned. Like you probably took the most away from what could have been taken away from what happened. And it just happens, man. Like you just have to close a day. It was another day. Take your loss. Go to the next day. Make a $700 profit on top, and go and like absolutely go crazy. You know. Oh, okay, that's what happened. I thought you got into some project and it didn't do so good. Oh damn, so he sent it to Coinbase and oh that's hard to see, man. You don't have to make your money back or you lost it. Yeah, like it happens, like you lose your money, but you will end up making it back in the long run. So most founders have never been a product operations business manager owner, and we are trusting them to go beyond merch and donations. Exactly. That is a very, very good short statement that Django Leg Jones has written. And sometimes projects may be able to do it, depending on the heart of the people. And if they have those connections, I would say connections is very, very, very big in this space. And connections can take you a very long way in this space as well. And it happens it just like some projects they you may think they're a rug or something, but they end up doing amazing. It just happens. Like I've personally seen some projects I was like, nah, project isn't gonna do good, and they ended up doing a double or triple of what their mint was. And honestly, I will never FUD up on a project unless it is very clear and evident. I will otherwise always kind of keep it on my radar, alert the people I know so they can also keep an eye on it, get some intel from other people on what their thoughts are, and then from there go on, right? So beside rug pulls, there's also pumps and dumpers hyping up random projects. Exactly. I don't know if you heard before. So many people pay ape holders and other major big NFT holders to kind of pump their NFT by buying some in and all that. And it's crazy now, like what happens. And yeah, Matthew, like I don't know what's up with that guy, man. He's he's become a totally different guy. Like from what I when I talk to him and now, it's crazy. Like I was personally at one point very, very big fan of Von Doom, and I'm being honest with this. Like I was in calls with him and I learned a lot from that guy as well. Like he's a super genuine guy, but agreed, man, he's a shiller. Like he shills random projects and he gets paid. So that's why he does it. And people are like, "Oh yeah, he's a Bored Ape Yacht Club holder. Oh, I gotta buy into it, or I gotta do this now. Like, look at this guy, he's buying it." And he dips. He makes his money and he's gone. Happens. Yeah. Does anybody have any more questions? Let's wait for these questions to roll in. Yeah, if if you would like, I can give a little bit of a brief description of what I do as a collab manager, and I will 100% come back, L Bill, and I'll probably come back talking a little bit more on the subject of collab management, and I will do a whole rundown of that as well. So, what I do as a collab manager is every single collab you see on this page right here, DJ Pass, is by me. And this project right here is actually I'm not trying to shill or anything, but it is a project that we are taking out as an incubation project for DGen Pass. And we have two in the current making right now. Crypto drops and also Kicks Pass right here. And so like you can see, I was in charge of getting this Lost Eden collab. I was in charge of this BBRC collab. I was in charge of Yogis. And what I do is I reach out to other projects and um I see on how their interest is in with our community. And I show them what are the benefits of them collabing with us. So them giving us some whitelist spots, which are the early mints, and is usually a guaranteed, but it's sometimes people over allocate. So I would always say if you do have a whitelist, wait for the time that the whitelist is. Watch the floor for like 5 to 10 minutes. See, is it doing good? Is the project doing well? If it is, and you think it's a profit or you want to long term the project, then only buy in. But so what they do is they give us whitelist spots and we give it to our community. So I can show you here, literally Matthew, new meta man. Screw the anime, it's all over allocation. But right here, I can show you giveaways. You can see here we're doing we did some 24 like how all DGen pass holders are whitelisted for name tag. So they gave us a full 2,222 allocation. And Demonica, uh, Dem- Demonica, yeah, they gave us 130 spots. Ashi gave us 110 spots. Easy Demons gave us 60. BBRC gave us 50. PX Dungeon gave us 30. Alpha Gang gave us 20. And Yogis also gave us 110 spots. And you can see here that this is all just because we show them why we give their community and their project value. Reason being, we have some very high tier, big members in our community actually right now. And like that kind of is what I do on the side of collab management is reaching out, securing some whitelist spots for my community, and some I times I even do long-term partnerships. Like for example, I was the one who actually set up the Aqua Pass Degen Pass partnership. I set up the Llamaverse and Degen Pass partnership. I also set up the Llamaverse and Aqua Pass partnership. And I'm in charge of partnerships as well, but I don't take a big role on it because collab manager, it it may not sound like much, and like how I'm talking about it, it may like sound nothing, but in reality, I need to make sure everything is on point. I need to make Google Sheets for every single collab we do, and I need to make sure everything is set. And for example, when we're doing a collection, we don't over allocate, which is something huge and absolutely hate it in this space right now. Yeah, that is like a brief understanding of a collab manager. And I can 100% come in another day and go more into depth on that if everyone would like. Yep, everything is done through Excel, but something else I've been personally looking into doing is tables, Google Tables, but Google Tables is US available only right now. So it gets a little annoying there because some people on the team may not be from US and everything like that. But yeah, bro, Excel or Google Tables is mandatory. Reason being, you need to keep a track of how to of like the winners. Who were all the winners for the collab? What collab are you reaching out to? Who have you reached out to? How many whitelist spots did we get from each project? How many for Twitter? How many for community? When are we doing the Twitter post? Have we handed in the winners? Everything like that, right? And that's just a little small thing of what we got to do. But yeah, like that, it's mandatory. You need to be able to do Excel or Google Sheets. Like Excel got its little um, Excel got the exactly the bells and whistles. It's just amazing. That's the main reason why I use Excel over anything, to be honest. But yeah, any quick projects anybody wants me to if we look into or anything as well? If no more questions are needed, I can quickly look into them. Black K. Oh, let me pull them up. The reason why I personally like I'm a 50-50 on this project. Reason being they might actually do semi decent is their their level of partnerships. Mason Ghost is someone who does not do a partnership with everyone. Never. Big, huge guy in this space. And, like, honestly, I am a big fan of their art as well. Like, I love that. I'm being honest. Like, I know it may not be the meta right now or anything, but I love that level of art. And it looks amazing to me. Right here. So, Julia. Um, I think she's like the verified one, if I'm not, or he. Yeah, let's look at this guy having 250K on this because I don't know if you guys know, but Black is a clothing company actually, and it's a very big clothing company over at Paris. And like you can see, like they get very high interactions on their posts, even on Instagram. But I feel like um uh, I feel like Black Paris is a project that like while it's minting, if you have like whitelist or something, kind of just keep an eye on the floor before you fully mint it. But I personally think this project will do semi decent and it may do really good numbers on this project yet. Reason being they're very closed about their project. But one thing I do know is that majority of their team is actually from Shinsekai. I don't know if you guys heard about that project. Over allocated the hell on their whitelist spots, and but the project did pretty good themselves, and um, I was really surprised on how Shinsekai played out. But great for that community, great for that project, 100%. So, do you think giving too many whitelists through raffles is bad for a project? What I mean is, many people that are not much involved in the project are getting whitelists, while people that aren't participating. So, what I can say is that most projects, even us for DGen Pass, we have a set amount that will be only for Twitter giveaways, and that's it. And then we have a set amount in our Discord. And who will we be handpicking out of the community to be able to gain whitelists from us? And that is what most projects do as well. They obviously have a set amount for collabs and partnerships, but majority of the spots do still come from Discord. Yeah. Uh, Everything all like this. But yeah, if does anybody have any more questions or anything else?
We are 10 minutes over, so I can understand if we want to start to close it down. I really appreciate you being here, Jasa. That was some great info. Can we get some claps in the
Um,
chat for all that great info from Jasa coming in here, donating his time to us? Really appreciate that. We will absolutely have to have you back one night for
for
some
sure,
deeper
man.
dives. Um,
For sure.
Just to make some quick announcements before we officially end class, I have tallied up the votes from our last Kahoot challenge. I have some winners that will be receiving some big XP drops, get you closer to that acceptance letter. We have another Kahoot challenge that is out right now. If you go to event announcements, you can take the new Kahoot challenge, which was based on Tuesday night's Ethereum class. I will be hosting a class on Saturday night of how to get wrecked in crypto. We're going to take a look at some of the big names, not only on TikTok, but on Twitter. And we're going to review some of the calls that they've made and see where those projects are now and see how much money you would have lost by listening to influencers. So, which is not always a bad case. We're going to just look at maybe it's doing well. We're going to see. So Saturday night, I'll make the announcement in class announcements tonight. Tomorrow night, we are having a pizza party. We've got some a fun game for us all to play. We will make that announcement as well. And last announcement, we are still pushing those invites. Whoever gets the most invites by the April 29th AMA, feel free to join us on that AMA, and I will announce who will win a free hardware wallet from yours truly, sent right to your door. We will have a class on setting up hardware wallets as well. I highly encourage everyone to own one. But those are the last quick few announcements. I will see you all for tomorrow night's pizza party and some fun games. And as we start this project and as we build this community, I really appreciate you guys all being here and asking these great questions from these big brains in the space. So appreciate you all. If you have any last questions, feel free to go over to the recess thread. We're going to hang out in there for a little bit. I am going to right now, for staying this long, do the giveaway for tonight. Since we spent so much time talking about rug pulls there for a second, I am going to be giving away a rug pull NFT, a project that minted, funds were stolen, Discord was closed, website was shut down, and everyone disappeared. So that is the NFT Zillas project. I'm going to go ahead right now and roll a random number. Random number 1 through 12. Ooh. 1, 2, 3. Vintage. Very nice. Send me over your wallet address and I will send you over a rug pull project. You can now say that you own an NFT that was rug pulled, the NFT Zillas. Appreciate you guys being here. I will see you over in class chat. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great one, guys.
Thanks again, Jasa.